Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Arguably Speaking.
I'm Kiera,
I'm Sarah.
and we're glad you're back for another episode. So, today we're talking all about shapes and colors. But before we get into our theme for this episode, we're going to have our weekly recap about what our life has been like and what's been happening.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to start?
Oh, we can go back and forth a little bit. Maybe we'll do day by day,
Okay.
and have the week go and progress. Because I feel like we both had kind of exciting weeks.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
I, as we've talked about in the past, the beginning of the week is not super memorable up until like maybe Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
I know that we celebrated a friend's birthday. Kiera sadly was not able to attend, mainly my fault because we were not sure when we were leaving and therefore
Did not tell
did not tell Kiera when we did leave. And so, yes. But I got to play Catan. You guys choose which way you want to hear me say it. For the second time ever, and I did end up winning, which is very exciting.
That is very exciting.
Yeah, I will say that I was set up for success because you get to like choose which places you want to build your houses based on, you like roll
Your order.
and who gets to go first and all of that. And I was in the middle, so I went last the first round and then first the second round. And so I got like two pretty good places instead of like one really good and one really bad. And so I think that really helped me just cement that win. But yeah, so that's all I really remember for the beginning of the week pre-Friday.
Hmm.
Do you have
Well,
anything?
yeah, I mean, pre-Friday, I was super happy because I had my final presentation of the quarter for my thesis project. And it was really great because then I was like, yay, I get to be less stressed.
Ooh.
And it was just significantly better for the rest of the week because I didn't have like immediate work that needed to be done.
Mm.
And so instead of going to the friend's birthday party, I stayed home and I made homemade pasta, really good meal for myself. I, went to work and life was less stressful and just was able to have like a very pleasant week. On Wednesday, had a mini board game night with a couple friends. And then Thursday, made dinner and had a study session with friends.
Nice.
But we got to make dinner, which was nice.
Sounds like a very fun
And then
week.
it was Friday.
Yeah.
And then it was Friday, which is where the really fun stuff happened because then it's the weekend.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I did remember that also during this week, I didn't break up with someone because we weren't technically like a couple, but I
But
did
Stop
stop
seeing someone.
seeing someone with the text, which had mixed reviews from my roommates. But I think that for the effect that I wanted the message to have, it was effective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
So,
summary.
yay
Good
for
summary.
me. Yeah. Friday though. Friday I had my first day of work, which is very
Super
exciting.
exciting.
Yes, I got a little tour of some of the spaces in the building. The building I'm working in is one of the largest continuous buildings in the country, I think. I can't remember the exact stat, but the hallway that goes through the center of this building is either the longest hallway in the US period or the longest hallway on this side of the Mississippi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That
take
is
that
quite a
for
lot.
what you will. I am not, directly off of that hallway. I'm in a wing that is, parallel to it, but I did get to see, a decent amount of the building that I'll be working in and helping with. And yeah, I did not get a whole lot of like structured training happening, so I'm still not entirely sure what I do. And I hope that I will get more. It was interesting to start on a Friday because it was just kind of like, how much can you actually learn in one day when you're also like making sure that your onboarding stuff is working and that I could get into my email and like I wasn't able to get into SharePoint, so I wasn't able to access like the different tracking documents that we will be using. So, yeah, a little odd, but it was the first of the month, so that's why I started on Friday, and it was kind of nice, I knew where I'm supposed to go and like what I can wear and the names of the people I'll be working with directly, and then I'll have my first full week. So
Yeah, and it's fun to like have your first day and then immediately go into a weekend.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's so nice.
Yeah, no, it was definitely really nice. And then I had my final frisbee game of my women's league, and it was really fun. We did not win this week, but we still had a really great time. And it felt like the gang was all there. We were missing a couple people, which was kind of a bummer, but it was a really good like environment, and like everybody was really just happy and like chatty and like really appreciative of each other. We went out to a bar afterwards and had a great time, and yeah, it was just super wonderful. I told a couple of people, if you are listening, from Team 4, hello. Sorry, our team name, to the other listeners, our team name is Team 4 because
A really good team name.
we were signed Team 4, and then you can come up with a name. And we never actually got around to coming up with a name. We just would make cheers that had to do with puns of the number 4.
I mean, that works, right?
It was really
It's
fun.
what
It
it
was
is.
unforgettable.
Aw, that
It
would have
was
been a
fun
good.
forever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we did a bunch of different things, but it was just ridiculous. And yeah, I think we're definitely gonna still get together even though the league's over.
And hang and be
And
friends.
hang and be friends and maybe play some mini or something. So it was just a really good time, and that was my Friday. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
What was yours?
I had a busy Friday because it's one of those things too where you are preparing and you're like, wow, I need to do these things so I can have a successful meeting and like get together. So Friday morning I had a 10 a.m. meeting and I was like prepping. I woke up early to do these things. And then the things that I did, we talked about for like 2 minutes and it was like, okay, cool. I'm glad I
Fun.
stressed out about this. But then after that, I have an 11 o'clock meeting, a 12:30 meeting, and then I'm TAing for class from 1:30 to 5:30.
Wow.
So it's like the whole day. That's pretty much how my whole day is. Every single day is like there's just back to back things that you are doing for the whole day. Um, but my office hours were at 11, so that was my quote quote meeting after my thesis meeting in the morning.
Mm.
And then I was helping people out because they have their final presentations this coming Wednesday, which is super stressful for them. And then after that, they have class later in the day. But between my office hours and class, I have a team meeting with the teachers and the other TA for this class.
Mm.
And then we jump into like crits and like helpful advice, I guess, during actual class period time. But my teacher sprang on me fun things to do right before class. They're like, could you host a Skillshare and like basically like, how to's and Q&A's for all of these softwares?
Oh my
And I'm like,
gosh.
sure. And she does that like fairly frequently. So I'm always just randomly presenting something that I haven't presented in like a year, or like, cause she's having me present my old projects that are projects that they're doing,
Yeah.
or she's having me like do skill shares or these things, which is fine. But it's also like I am never prepared. So I always have to wing it.
Gosh, I hate that.
Yeah,
Wow.
because she never tells me ahead of time. And then it was a lot of fixing other people's problems because they simply don't know how to use these softwares. So it's just like, okay, let me just get in there and drive and try to fix it. And then I will tell you step by step how I fix it. I will fix it myself. I will undo it. And then I will help you fix it.
Wow.
Because
That's a lot, yeah.
I don't want to just do it for them. That
Right.
feels
No,
like
that's not
unproductive.
teaching, yeah.
But
But
long
it takes
story
a lot
short,
more time.
that was my Friday day.
Goodness.
And then I went to an Indian food place, which was really good, for dinner. And I was like, I have eaten so much good food, and my tum tum is so happy. And then we had the bigger game night, like
Nice.
actual fun times. And then it was
And then it
Saturday.
was Saturday. And
Yeah.
Saturday was great because Kira and I did things together.
Yes. So in the morning, I actually was not with Sarah,
True.
but I had scheduled to do a tour of a chocolate factory. Highly recommend if you're in Seattle and you need a rainy day activity in Tukwila. The Seattle Chocolate Company does tours for like $15. You get to taste a ton of chocolate and it's super fun. Honestly, it's great to do with like a person. I think the tour is like 50 minutes. and then it's a 30-minute drive. 40 if you aren't taking tolls, and we didn't want to take the toll roads. It was 40 minutes to get down there. Um, and then you eat a bunch of chocolate, then you buy a bunch of chocolate, and then you leave. We needed something savory afterwards, so we got some Chinese food in the International District, which was
Nice.
delicious. And then I went back and saw Sarah and the
Yay.
roomies and the roomies.
Yay, yay. Yeah, I went to Bella's with our other roommate who has decided that he will be a guest on the podcast.
We're so excited to introduce Matthew
Not
sometime
sure when,
soon.
but look forward to it. And yeah, so we kind of, were little fun patrons for our other coffee working roommate Bella. And then I finished my book, which was pretty awesome. I was like, I'm gonna finish this book because I thought I was gonna be attending a book club that night, and I wanted to be able to be like, I just finished this book, so I can tell you all about every part of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I like pounded out. I like read for 2 hours, which is kind of a lot for me. I would always read for school for that long, but never usually just like
For
funsy.
leisure.
Yeah. Anyways, I finished my book and then yeah, we came back to the house and we were going to go do paint your own pottery because I brought back some more bisqueware from my mom's pottery small business that she's starting up. If you're in the Front Range area and you are looking for paint your own pottery figurines, so like the white ones that you see on the shelf that you buy at like a place and then you glaze it and they fire it for you and you take it home and it's very cute. You can talk to my mom because she now has her own kiln that she can fire in as well and
Mm-hmm.
is getting a secondary kiln that is larger for like, bigger mantle sized pieces instead of like little
Yay!
figurines figured out. So that's pretty exciting too. But yeah, we had some of those. We were gonna go. It was a Saturday afternoon, and so I called the place to see how long a wait might be for a table, and they essentially told us that the wait would last until they closed, and we would just not be able to get in today.
Which is good that we called beforehand.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
nice that we didn't
Yeah.
leave and then get turned around. That was
Yeah.
good.
So instead, we decided to go thrifting, which is always pretty much a win. And then you buy a bunch of stuff that's really cheap that you don't need. But got a better garlic press, got
Lovely.
a loaf pan, got some fun. We got a hand mixer, which
Very
is
excited about that.
wonderful.
I'm gonna make some meringues later
Yeah,
today,
you
I'm pretty
are.
sure. Should be good. Yeah, I'm just really excited to like A, be able to whip egg again, and B, be able to cream butter.
Yeah,
It's just like really
creaming and
useful
whipping.
for baking. So exciting stuff. But yeah, what other things? I don't know. It's pretty much what we got. I got some sewing stuff.
Yeah. I think some other people got like some clothing odds and ends and just some fun things that they're gonna experiment with artsy and craftsy wise. But it was good. It was fun. And then we came back, we played some games and just talked and it was a great evening.
Yeah, it was a really good night. And now we're here. We're recording this on Sunday because we're freaking
On top of it. We are on top of it.
prepared,
Mm-hmm.
planned out, and we definitely chose the topic more than 10 minutes before we started the episode. So you're in for a treat.
You are really in for a wonderful treat, which is a great segue into the topic for today, which I mentioned a little bit before, shapes and colors. I think we mentioned it last podcast. I was like, we should have a podcast dedicated to colors because, or no, it was 2 podcasts ago when we were talking about superstitions.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And when I was looking into superstitions, I was like, wow, there's so many links to colors and like especially cultural beliefs about what colors are lucky and
Mm.
have different meanings in them. And while we're not necessarily going to go into the history of all of these different cultures because there is many, we are going to talk a little a little bit about our associations with colors, which I thought would be fun. And we'll start out with a personality test, pretty much only for Sarah because I've taken it. So I'll like administer it and you'll get to take it live.
Oh,
And then
perfect.
I'll tell you what they mean. It'll make sense as we go.
Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And,
Uh,
while you pull that up, we can refresh to say that I thought Kiera was the color green in our first episode when we were
Yes.
doing our second episode when we were doing our little introduction thingies
Getting
of
to know
how we
you.
saw each other and how we saw ourselves. I thought
Mm-hmm.
Kiera was green and you thought yourself was
Orange.
orange.
Yeah, I think I was just going kind of on our favorite colors, but I think our favorite colors
Yeah,
represent us to a certain extent.
so too.
Because I thought Sarah was yellow,
Yeah,
and she thought she was.
yellow. I'm pretty
Is it
sure.
yellow? I can also double check this on our little
Insta.
Instagram that we use so frequently and that we're really good at.
There you go.
But I wonder if those have changed at all. I don't know if mine have actually changed. Yeah.
Yeah,
You picked yellow for yourself as
there you go.
well.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Had fun.
anyways, to go into the personality test. So the one that I am doing for Sarah, it's called the Field, Cube, Ladder, Horse, and Flower questions.
Oh,
Um,
none of those are colors.
none of their shapes and colors.
Oh, right.
Shapes and
Shapes. There you
colors.
go. There you go.
So
I
we're
forgot.
starting out with shapes. If you've never heard of this test before, you should definitely think of answers as we go along.
Yeah.
Answer it for yourself, and then you'll be able to like think of them and relate to the analysis, I guess.
At the end.
At the end.
Yeah.
So the first question is you are trying. Basically, I am going to give you these prompts, and you're trying to visualize things as you go, and you will describe what you're visualizing.
Perfect.
So, in order, this is how it will go. Think of an open field. How big is this field and what is it filled with? What are the surroundings like?
I am seeing a large field. I would say that, like, the horizon still contains this field, if that makes sense.
Okay, okay.
And it's got some rolling hills. You know, I can't see every part of it. It's not completely flat because it's, ebbing and flowing. And I would say that, it's got some nice old grass in it. Not like short trimmed golf grass or anything like that, but like, native plants and whatever. And yeah, I don't think I see any animals in this field. I think, and then just like a blue sky with maybe one or two fluffy little clouds.
Nice. Very
Yep.
nice.
Yep.
That's perfect. And I guess I can supplement this with what the answers that I had originally were so we can psychoanalyze both of us at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'll do them to the best of my memory's ability.
Okay.
But when I first took this test, I think I saw like a contained field. Like there was very clear entries and exits, but the field was pretty expansive but had trees around it. And beyond trees were mountains.
Nice.
So, but there were still like entries and exits, clear ways to move through. And the field was like a warm field, lots of sun,
Okay.
and like flowing wheat. Flowing wheat or grasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the second prompt is think of a cube. How big is the cube? What is it made out of? What is the surface of it like? What color is it? Where in the field is it? Where is the cube
The
on the
cube
ground?
is in the field?
Yes.
Okay.
The cube. So you're creating kind of a landscape.
Okay.
Where in the field is it? Where is the cube? Is it on the ground? Is it floating? Is it transparent? If so, can you see inside? So these are all just prompting questions. You don't have to answer all of them.
Okay.
But things to consider when you're describing your cube.
Okay. My cube is not very big. One might almost call it a block, I would say, because I think it would be like a little block of wood, maybe 2 inches by 2 inches by 2 inches. And yeah, I would say that it's just kind of sitting on the ground in between the grasses. You wouldn't be able to see it just from, looking out over the field, but if you're looking down at the right spot on the ground, you can see this little block hanging out. It's not a dark wood per se. I would say that it would be a light wood, not stained.
And
Definitely
is it
smooth.
Is it hollow or is it dense? Like
Oh, it's a block of wood.
okay.
There's
It's a block of wood.
There's wood inside of this wood. The amount of times I've said wood this morning alone, more than you would think.
More than you'd think.
More than you would think. It does not have anything on it in terms of like letters or paint or stain.
Just a
It's
regular
just a
block
just
of
a plain old block of
cube.
wood. It's a cube. It's a
Cube
cube.
though.
Yeah, but it's 2 by 2 by 2.
Cool, cool, cool.
Yep. What about you?
So mine was kind of crazy. It was a fairly large box. It wasn't bigger than a person, but it was like, one of those moving boxes that you have, like a cardboard moving box. It was like that. It was also made of wood, I think.
Nice.
But the exciting thing about my box is it was a glitter bomb. And
Nice.
so would if you yelled at it, it would explode glitter. I really started going
That's
fantastical with my.
ridiculous. I love it.
So
No,
it
it's
was,
great.
and I don't think there was a specific color to this glitter, but it was a reactive box,
I love that
but
for
it's
you.
reactive in a good, exciting way.
Yeah.
Unless you're not expecting the glitter, then maybe not as good.
Well, and maybe not exciting when you try and shower and it's in your hair later.
Yeah,
That's
but
hilarious.
sparkly and fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Super fun, super fun. No, I love that. Just make sure that your mouth's closed.
Yeah. Okay, the next prompt is think of a ladder. How long is the ladder and where is it located in your field? Oh, and mine was in the middle of my field.
Okay.
It also floated.
Oh,
Um,
great.
for
Okay.
my cube,
Okay.
not for the
Yeah, I
ladder.
got you. I got you.
And then what is the distance between the ladder and the cube?
I would say that, okay, I guess locationally, we'll just say that my cube, my little block buddy, is in the foreground and a little bit to the left.
We're looking at it like a picture.
We are looking at it like it's a picture,
Cool.
okay?
Good.
Foreground, a little bit to the left, in the grasses. If you were standing where I am standing with the perspective that I have, you could look down maybe 3 feet in front of your left foot and the cube would be around that area of grass.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
now that we've got that covered. This ladder, there's nothing to support it because the cube is small and the ladder is bigger than the cube. I would say conventionally like wide ladder, a little bit uh in from shoulder width apart are the outside bars.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the rungs are a comfortable distance. I would say that it's made of a similar wood to the cube. Um, and the side rungs are cylindrical, and the like front rungs are just a regular old 2 by 4 that's been nailed in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it like a long ladder? Is it a short ladder?
Uh, I would say it is about 20 feet long.
Okay. And are you saying like a lot of times I think you associate like it going up or going down of the ladder.
Yeah.
What
I
is
think
happening?
the let me try and place it in the field.
Yeah.
This ladder is, well, it could be one of those ones that folds.
Like the
That would be
A-frames.
better. Okay,
Yeah.
it's an A-frame. It's still wooden. And it's a little beat up.
Okay.
It's a little beat up. But it's still of a light wood color. And I would say that it is also a little bit to the left. But much further into the field. But not
Gotcha.
so far that it's behind a hill. But I would say, it's like in one of the valleys of, it's a rolling hill. They're not high. They're not high hills.
Okay.
Right? But it's also like it's turned so that it is running parallel. The A-frame is running parallel to the rolling hills so that it's not tilted.
Thank you for your specificity.
You're welcome.
This will be helpful later.
Okay, that's my ladder.
Good, good, good. My ladder was like rainbow. It was like
Nice.
a rainbow colored ladder. I don't exactly remember materiality, but it was the keyboards that you step on and like have music playing out of them?
Yes.
Basically, it was like that but in a ladder form.
Nice.
So as you were moving up and down, you could go either way. it would make a different sound as you were moving, and it was all these colors.
Nice.
And it was just like, I think it was just like a Jack and the Beanstalk kind of thing,
Yeah.
where it just juts out from the ground and like keeps going up, and you don't know where it ends.
Wow.
But it was really.
Yours is so much more exciting than mine.
It doesn't matter though.
That's fair.
It
That's
doesn't. It
okay.
really doesn't matter. It's also I was taking this with friends around, like we were all answering it all at once, and so
Oh.
you had a little bit more feedback.
Okay.
And I wasn't necessarily always going first. We would pick who was going first for that round, and it would be different. But I think you start falling a little bit into groupthink and be like, oh, somebody else said something fantastical.
Yeah.
I should too.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything long term for this
Okay,
test.
cool. That makes sense.
You should do whatever you feel.
Okay. I'm feeling a wood, slightly beat up A-frame ladder, parallel to the rolling hills in a
Yes.
small valley.
That's also why I'm making you go first.
So a little bit to the left.
Okay, so we have 7 of these. We're on 4. Just so you know.
Okay, I will answer in a less long-winded.
Okay. Also, if this takes us more time, I think this is actually very fun to go through. But think of a horse. What color is the horse? What is the horse doing? Where is it in relation to your cube? Is there more than one?
Horses? Multiple horses.
Interpret it as you will.
I don't want there to be more than one. You know the movie Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron?
Yes, such a
Okay,
good movie.
you
Such
know
a
the
good
girl
movie.
horse? It's her. That is that horse. For those who have not seen the movie, watch it. But if you are unable, I will give you a small rundown. Paint horse with a little feather in her mane, very caring, loving, um, feminine, but also strong horse. And yeah, I don't know. Got like a curvaceous booty, I would say.
Where is it in relation to your other objects, like in the
Definitely
field?
to the right, further away, on a hill, eating grass.
Yeah, but not near the cube or the ladder.
No, mm-mm,
Okay.
nowhere near.
And like what's yeah.
Eating
We
grass.
feel positively, negatively, neutral to this horse?
We love this horse,
Okay.
but also she's like kind of wild now because she ran away with Spirit at the end of. Not to spoil it, no spoilers. But just know that she's, she's not here to be around humans. She's there to just chill, love life, have a bodacious booty, and eat some grass.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What about your horse?
My horse was like, I was also thinking character wise, and it was like, I wanted it to be a Pegasus first.
Nice.
Because I was like, flying horse sounds great. And this, it just makes
With your
sense.
glitter bomb?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I was starting to think like Hercules Pegasus. Yeah. I was like, we're besties.
Aw,
like, we're friends.
cute.
And like, we're there for one another.
Fist bump.
Yeah, fist bump. Like, this horse and I are like killing it. Yeah. So I was also on the character train.
Nice.
And also I was just like, I just want to fly. I want
Yeah.
to like have adventures and do things like that.
We're just
Yeah.
best friends.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So that's great. And then it was because it was flying. It was everywhere. It wasn't just
Right.
in like one piece of my landscape.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was moving around, an active
Fair
piece.
enough.
Okay, and number 5 is think of flowers. Where are the flowers in your field? How many are there? Are they covering your field? Are they just in bits and pieces? What kind of colors are they? Are they different or are they the same?
Am I allowed to say that there aren't any flowers?
Yeah,
There
You
aren't
are.
any flowers.
that's fine.
The answer is no.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I've got. That's what I've got.
Mine was definitely like a field of flowers.
Okay.
My field became more of a meadow, I think.
Nice.
And it was all I do remember there being like a ton of flowers, but them being like nice and like not multicolored, like shades of one color.
Oh,
If
okay.
that makes sense.
Sure.
Like monochrome. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Monochrome.
Not
But
an
variations.
explosion of color hitting you in the face.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's a lot going on in mine right now.
Oh,
So.
there is. Flying around, glitter might burst at any moment.
Exactly.
What color?
Red.
Red.
I don't know why,
Okay.
but it felt like shades of red
Shades of red.
from like the darkest, deepest to the lightest.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I think that sounds good.
Okay, number six. That one was fast. That was good.
Thank you.
Um,
Because I rejected it completely.
true. Think of what the weather in the field is like. Is it raining? Sunny? Is your field foggy? What's happening?
I might have already answered this, but I do see it being sunny, and I do see there being fluffy little clouds. Now,
Yeah.
you know how when you are up high and you can see the shadows of the clouds from far away? Do you know what I'm saying? You can see some cloud shadows on some of the hills in the
Mm,
distance, but they're nowhere near the horse.
nice. Okay.
Yeah,
That's good to
the
know.
horse is in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so's the ladder and the cube. I am not being behind a cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you personifying yourself as the horse right now?
No. Can you imagine? No, 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 no. Because I'm near the ladder and the cube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Perfect.
I wish I remembered this one more. I wanted to say that there were like some patches of clouds, like nothing was directly over my field, but similar to you, like there were clouds in the distance, but they
Mm.
were like pockets of clouds. It wasn't like a
Okay.
big dense anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hear
yeah.
you.
But I can't remember the specificity of
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The field itself was sunny
Nice.
because we love the sun.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why we live in Seattle.
Yeah. Sunshine in Seattle. We're trying. But the last prompt here is think of a storm. What is the distance between the storm and the cube? Is it a big storm? Is it just passing through? Is it so far away that you can't even see the storm?
I reject the presence of the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Fine. If there has to be a storm, it's wind.
Okay.
Okay. And it's like just the whispers of coming through. So you can see every now and again a gust, a soft gust, but a gust in that it's separate from the rest of the air so that you can see all of the grass ripple.
I feel like it's one of those things where you'd go outside and be like, whoa, if we're getting gusts here, that means in other parts of the world it's coming down. But
Yeah,
it's not here. But
right.
you just know of it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely like a feeling of like change could happen
Mm-hmm.
and
The
it
weather is a
wouldn't be
changing. It's a
surprising.
shifting.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when the
Yeah.
wind blows. And also this ripple definitely moving from left to right.
Mm.
Notably, the horse is eating on the right side, butt towards the left, head towards the right. Very notable for whoever is going to make fan art of this picture later. You need
Honestly,
to
maybe
know.
we should storyboard it
We could
up.
paint it.
That would be so
That'd
fun.
be super fun.
We'll get back to you. So my storm was really associated to the weather because I had like very scattered clouds very far away. So it was
Mm.
like there could be storms on the horizon and you might be able to see it similar how you can like see rain, but it's not actively raining where you
Yeah,
are,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
it's like far away
And the
rain
cloud looks
too.
like it's like sagging
Yeah,
down. Yeah,
exactly. But
yeah.
it's not near us where we are still sunny.
Nice.
My cube and my glitter and my horses and my ladders
Nice.
and my flowers are all safe from
Yeah.
storm.
I will say, just before we go on for 1 second,
Mhm.
I haven't seen clouds like where you can see off in the distance that it's raining somewhere else anywhere but Colorado.
Yeah, now I'm wondering if that's just a Colorado thing or maybe just a thing where you can see like flat land. I don't know, but
Maybe?
maybe not Nebraska either, huh?
I don't think I've seen it in Nebraska because
Wow.
it's so flat.
Hmm.
I don't know. Because I feel like most of the time when I like am seeing it raining off in the distance, it's usually either me looking at the mountains or looking from mountainousness.
Interesting.
I don't know. What do
Interesting.
you think?
Now I can't recall any specific time that that's happened.
Huh.
That wasn't in Colorado.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Weird. Well,
Very
hey,
weird.
listeners, if you're not in Colorado and have seen what we're describing, let us
Let us
know.
know. Well, that's awesome. So that's the test. It actually is pretty comprehensive. So it makes it, has you have the whole landscape.
Right.
And now I will let you know what this test means.
Okay, I'm excited. Does
It
each
is
thing represent
interesting.
a different?
Yeah, it does.
Okay,
It's
okay,
very fun.
perfect.
This might take us through a lot of the episode, actually.
That's
I didn't
fine.
realize that it's nice. It's a good little test, I
When
think.
did you do it the first time?
When I was trekking in Nepal.
Oh,
And that's why it was so fun too, because we had just like walked 10 miles, 15 miles
yeah.
or something, and then you're all sitting down and like playing cards and eating and talking, and we're like, let's do this.
Yeah.
And my friend brought it up.
Good, like
It's such a good game.
conversation.
Yeah,
Like it'll keep going and there's enough structure, but not so much that you can't pay attention or whatever.
exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so we'll start off in the same order that we answered the questions in,
Okay,
and we'll start with the field.
perfect.
So the field represents your mind. Its size represents your knowledge of the world and how vast your personality is.
Oh.
The condition of the field, dry, grassy, or well trimmed, is what your personality looks like at first glance.
Huh. Okay, I've got a vast mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've got somewhat, but it's a little bit like walled in places, is
Yeah,
what came out.
interesting.
We're both in grassy areas,
Okay.
so I don't know what that means, what your personality looks like at first glance. Maybe there's a lot of movement.
Yeah, or like there's life.
Yeah.
It's not like a dead field. It's brown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bare.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got some zest.
Yeah, and they associated this, I guess, in this specific analysis of it as how pessimistic or optimistic you were.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So well trimmed is analytical and cautious. Grassy and healthy is optimistic, and dry and dead is pessimistic.
I would say
But
they were
that's
both pretty big optimists.
yeah. So that's the basis of it. They start building on one another though, so they get more and more complicated
Okay, okay,
as you
okay.
go.
Cool.
So the cube. The cube represents you.
Ah,
The size of the cube is your ego.
oh,
The surface of the cube represents what is visibly observable about your personality, or maybe it is what you want others to think about you. The texture of the cube, for example, if it's smooth or rough or bumpy, represents your nature. So,
I'm a little cube. Little tiny cube.
I know.
Made of wood.
That's why I was like, are you associating the horse with you? Like,
That's so funny.
so, off to the left.
Off to the left.
But in the
Off to
foreground,
the left and in the foreground.
that's good. At least
Kind
you're not
of
in the
near
back.
the ladder, but not really. That's so
And it was
funny.
smooth, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
smooth. It was smooth and solid.
Yeah, so you're a gentle person who takes care not to hurt others or make them feel uncomfortable, is what it
Oh,
says.
that's nice.
Yeah,
I do think that I try to make people feel comfortable. So that's
yeah.
cool.
I mean, there's some like this one. It's like if you said it was spiky, you have a tendency to criticize others
Oh
or
gosh.
make them feel inferior to you. And I'm like, okay, that feels like a
Seems
big jump.
yeah.
Like maybe you're
Seems
just
really
trying
negative.
to, or like you're like I feel like spikes is like maybe you're trying to protect yourself,
Defensive. a little bit, maybe?
defensive, but like not in a horrible way.
No,
Just
just in
like
like sometimes
you
you
need
have
to be
defenses up
defensive.
for a good reason.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I don't want to take their interpretation or analysis as fact. I think it's a little
Yeah.
bit better if we analyze one another,
Yeah.
rather than this. But
I
we can use it
mean,
as a guide.
you, Kira, if you yell too loudly, I don't know if you listeners know this, but if you yell too loudly at Kira, she does explode into a ball of glitter. That's
Yeah,
exactly what happened.
I really am just like
That was really loud.
everything. That's okay. That's okay.
Oh.
They have it broken out by color as well, but I don't know if our colors really associate because glitter is like just a sparkle.
Yeah.
That's like not a specific color, and also wood. They have black, white, gray, violet, blue, yellow, and red as colors.
We don't have brown. Wow. Rude.
Yeah, exactly.
Rude.
So I mean, the
Tan.
closest is maybe like a yellow, like a tan yellow-ish, but that means you're sociable and cherish your individuality, which I
Hmm.
do think is true.
Yeah.
Um, but the other ones don't really apply.
Okay. Cool. Did you see a
Yeah.
color on there that you would like to think that you are?
I haven't read through them all.
Okay, fair. We
Um,
can move on.
yeah, so we can move on. The other cube characteristics, if it's transparent, ours isn't, but that means you like to let others know how you feel.
Mm.
If it's made out of water or ice, that you let external elements influence your feelings.
Interesting.
Hollow cube means that you're concerned with your outside appearance more than interior
Interesting.
appearance. If it's made out of metal or rock, it means that you have solid integrity.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
So
wood's pretty solid
I think
integrity.
it is too. I think
Yeah.
it's very sturdy,
Yeah.
reliable,
I think so. Also, just like of use, you know? Like I'm usable.
and versatile. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Exactly. But also 2 by 2 by 2, not that useful. But it would be nice to hold in your hand. You
Yeah.
know? Just like, yeah.
No, it was really funny because it was like, wow, mine was like, if you yell at me, I will explode into gold. What does that mean?
I don't know.
But like on the day to day, it's just like a box
That's
of,
super
you
funny.
know,
You just
a
have a
moving
lot
size
of
box.
potential inside of you all the time.
Sure, we'll go with that one.
You're just a bomb waiting to explode.
Yeah,
I don't think you're
that's
like that as
yeah, that's
much.
maybe
That's some potential.
potential is better. So the ladder represents, it says two different aspects. When I did it, it was just one. It represents your goals.
Mm.
Because the other part of it was represented later down the road. So we'll just go with goals for right now. And if it's long or short, yours was
20 feet.
20 feet. So I'd say it's, I don't know. I'll just read both of them and you can say what it
Okay.
is. So if it's short, your goals are realistic and simple, straightforward. If it's long, your goals are more far-fetched and difficult to attain. So me saying mine was like Jack and the Beanstalk was,
Some big goals.
I guess so.
I love that.
Was kind of funny.
Well, I feel like my A-frame limits its length considerably.
Yeah. I think
Um,
it's just like straightforward.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. You can see exactly how far you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas mine is just like, well,
just keep going.
you just keep going. Which I
Yeah.
think is somewhat true on some level. At least right now, actively. Like yours
think
is
so.
a defined, like going to grad school. Like
Right.
that has a defined time frame and stuff where
Yeah.
it's like I'm moving on to a new chapter that doesn't necessarily have
It's
an
true.
ending or an end point to it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a keep going.
Yeah, you just want to be able to experience all the things that you haven't had a whole lot of time for because you have been so driven lately.
Exactly.
So you got a never-ending ladder full of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
That makes noise as you
That makes
go.
noise as you go on it, which
Music,
means that your
maybe
goals are musical singing podcast.
It's coming back. It's coming back.
Okay.
And then near or far. So yours was near, I think, right?
Relatively near.
To the cube.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say.
So you're putting maximum effort and focus into achieving your goals.
Wow, good
Mhm.
for me.
And then far is like the opposite of that. Like they're in your mind, but they're not like maybe the first thing that you're focusing on.
Yeah. Okay.
You have other needs that need to be met.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, there's another near and far.
How close is yours together?
Mine was like in the center of my field.
Nice.
But I'm not sure how close. I don't know if I defined how close it was to my box. Yeah. Wasn't my box also floating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your box was floating, and I thought you said that your box was in the center of the field.
Oh, well,
So arguably,
maybe it's a floating. Maybe. I don't know.
arguably speaking, it's hard to say.
Hard to say. My box is floating up the ladder. I am floating
Nice.
up towards my goals.
Amazing.
I remember we were talking when I was doing this with my friends that like if you're going up that means like you're actively chasing them as well, and if you're going down it means like you're not actively working towards them as much or they're not at the forefront as well.
Interesting.
But that was like our own personal
Yeah.
guesses.
Mm-hmm. Interpretation.
Okay, so the horse. This one's gonna be funny, I think.
Okay.
Because the horse represents your ideal partner.
A bodacious booty. Bodacious.
Oh, it's perfect. It makes so much
That's
sense.
so funny. That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
It could be playing, running around, or grazing right next to your cube.
It's like she's all the way over there.
You called your
And eating grass. That's hysterical. Oh my gosh. I feel bad. I feel like we might have cut out the machine for a little bit.
That's okay. I'll clip it to make sense.
It'll be okay. All
Um,
you need to know is that I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I think this is great.
it makes sense. Well, it felt bad because one of my friends, she was like, "It's like a giant. My horse is like a chess piece horse."
Oh.
And it's huge and it's mowing over the field and destroying. Like she had this like hellscape landscape, and we're like, at the end of it, we were like, "Are you okay?" And like, this feels bad. Like, are you and your partner good? Like, do you need? And she's like, "Wow, things have been difficult in like a lot of aspects right now."
Oh my
It was
gosh.
like a little too close to home, but
Wow.
yeah, I was
Wild.
happy that at least both of our horses were like doing well and like not destroying our field.
Yeah, she's free, she's far away, she's got a bodacious booty. So funny.
So so funny.
I'm so impressed that you didn't say anything.
I know. I just was
You
like,
did
I'm gonna
great,
keep
Kiera. You
going.
did great. Okay,
Yeah.
and you're best buds with yours.
Yeah, and we're
And
doing the
you
adventure.
fly.
We fly.
That's awesome.
So it's good. It's
Oh,
good.
that's so cute.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other interpretations, but I feel like you
Yeah,
get enough
I love
from
that.
our
That's
answers.
super cute. That's super, super cute.
Yeah. Um, but one note is like if your horse is a completely different color than those listed, because it has like black, brown, and white as colors that your
Oh,
horse could be.
okay.
But if it's not one of those colors, it means that you value originality and independence. Yeah, you want to be with someone who fascinates and challenges you. But I mean, I
What
don't
color
know.
was your Pegasus?
I don't know.
Okay, fair.
I feel like
Mine was a paint, so it was all of those
yeah,
colors.
yeah. But there's a lot more about the horse that could be like representative of different things.
Fair.
Um,
I mean, I'm pleased with how our horses
I think it makes sense.
are. That's super.
But the second part of the horse was like it also represents your friends, and I was like, no, that doesn't make sense because the flowers, the next one, represents your friends and family.
Oh, dang. No friends. No family.
That was also really funny. And that's why I was so scared when my friends like the horse is like mowing down the flowers and destroying the field, and it was just like,
No.
my God, like just not
Your
having
partner's
them in record.
isolating you from your friends and your
It
Wow.
was scary. It was just like
Oof.
slightly too real, and we were just like, okay, we're gonna move on. Um,
Wow. I
I reject the flowers.
I said I don't want any flowers in my field. No. That's kind of a bummer. I do think that I have good friends, and I do think that I have great relationship with my family. So I reject this part of the experiment.
Not all personality tests are like spot on, you
True.
know.
That's so funny though. So what does it say about your red flowers?
It doesn't say anything about the color.
Mm.
But we can, associate color as we will.
Yeah.
It just does like if there's a few versus if they're everywhere. The few is that you're like very close with like the people that you have, and you have a very tight knit group of people that are interconnected.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they're everywhere is like you're a social butterfly. Your friends and families are numerous in count, and like they're around. They're
Bunch, bunch,
they're
bunch.
abundant.
Wow. Bummer. That's okay though. I was so behind this test because of the horse thing, and now I'm like, I don't know about this.
We
It's
can
okay.
we can reject that as well. Probably shouldn't have let you reject it. To be
It's
fair,
fair.
they should have been like, you have to
Funny.
include. Yeah, I just wanted to keep going.
Yeah, no,
It's
you did
it's
great.
fun knowing what they are.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 is the weather condition. The weather in your field reflects your general outlook on life.
Mhm.
There's a reason we have expressions like when it rains, it pours. But yours was, I think both of ours were sun. So it's like you have an optimistic and like forward thinking, view to your
Yeah.
future.
I
Um,
like
but wind is also on here.
what does this say?
Though you tend to worry about future issues, you generally don't let them get you down for too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like that. There you go. The
So it
winds
makes
of
sense.
change are coming.
And then finally, we're at the storm.
Oh, right.
So the strength and position of the storm reflect the stress you're feeling in life. As you probably guessed, the stronger the storm and the closer to the cube, the higher your stress level. If you imagine a storm raging right above your cube, it might be a good idea to work on reducing stress in your daily life.
Oh, that
But
makes sense.
both had like far out storms, especially though it doesn't matter when you take this. Like I was also taking this test originally when I was like studying abroad and like yeah,
Right.
doing other stuff.
Do you think if you were taking it right now and didn't know what everything meant, would you have said that you had a storm?
No. I feel like I might have said like a storm, like one of those sunny storms that you
Oh,
like
it's
where
like
it's
raining
raining,
and
but
it's sunny.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably what I would have said.
Cool.
Yeah. But they have like a mild or strong like in the eye of the storm or just passing through or right above your head and like in the background. And for us, for both in the background, it says any obstacles that might be causing you grief are not at the forefront of your mind. You are good at managing your anxiety.
Yay. Good for us.
Yeah,
That's
and
funny.
working through things. So
Huh.
I don't know. I just thought that was a really fun test when I took it. And I was like, shapes and
That
colors.
was super fun.
This makes sense
I
for
loved it.
here.
I loved
Yeah.
it so much. I thought
Yeah.
that was super fun. I'm glad that we did it on like camera instead of just coming in pre-prepared. I feel like that made it
Exactly.
really fun too.
Yeah, and then you kind of go through it, especially when you get to
It's so funny. I
go
like
down.
A,
The horse was
I'm
so
just
good.
a
It's
tiny
always so
little
good.
cube, and B, like so far away, but good butt.
Like the only notable characteristic.
Well, I said what, like kind or something? I don't actually remember. It's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna. This test was going to have more to do with color if we had named out more colors of our things,
Yeah.
but was more just shapes and
It
landscapes.
was. It was. I enjoyed
Yeah,
it. I enjoyed it. I thought that was great.
yeah.
I'm pleased.
As a little end to our podcast because we're getting closer to the end. That activity took a little bit longer than I thought. We will just read out some general color correlations, like psychologically,
Mm.
and then you should take this test. Hopefully, you are taking it along with us and thinking about what you would like to answer. But we'll leave you with a couple color associations that are just general, not specific to this test, but that you might be able to apply to your landscapes and your objects
Yeah,
if you're
that sounds
taking it
great.
along. And I'll just go in color order. This was probably something that I should have said at the beginning, but I think can fit at the end too, retrospectively. And we'll start with red. So this is from the Interaction Design Foundation,
Mm.
and they're basically just saying like how powerful colorful colors are as a tool for like evoking emotions and expressing thoughts. We have biological responses, really to colors that make us is cultural responses.
Famously, red was my favorite color as a kid before it switched
Really,
to yellow.
my favorite color as a kid was purple.
Ooh, nice.
I was a purple girl. I liked purple better than pink because I wasn't like the other girls, obviously.
That's why I liked red because it felt more strong.
Mm-hmm.
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 Yeah, I just really liked purple for a while, and I can't remember when it switched to orange, but it's been orange for a while.
Yeah.
It's been orange for a very long time. Okay, but this is a lot of the normal symbolism that you see. Like red is associated with passion and love and power. It also is associated with danger and excitement,
And
uh,
hunger.
hunger, strength, and energy.
Mm.
And red is also seen as a lucky color in many cultures.
Yes.
Yeah. So especially Asian cultures, red is like the sign of like good fortune and yeah, luck just overall.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because the red envelopes for Chinese New Year, right? The
Mm-hmm.
money envelopes.
Red envelopes and just in general, like red is worn not just in China, like Vietnamese and I know Nepali and Indian culture too. So overall, red is seen as like a lucky color, but I don't think it really is seen as a lucky color in America.
Hmm.
Like I think a lot of times it's seen as like a really strong, bold color.
Yeah.
That sometimes like red is associated with stop a lot.
Yeah.
So
I can agree with
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
learned something recently also about red is that uh, a lot of sewing, we were talking a little bit about sewing, pincushions were made as tomatoes in like a certain era of time because
Mm-hmm.
people got obsessed with tomatoes as soon as we figured out they wouldn't kill us. They weren't
Wow.
poisonous. And also, right around that time, they had figured out a cheaper way to dye things red using like artificial coloring instead of having to, do the expensive harvesting of like fruit plant dye, whatever.
Yeah.
So like there was a whole era where red things just freaking exploded. And
Wow.
that's why we have tomato pincushions, is because A, it was cheaper to make things red than it ever had been before, and people were obsessed with tomatoes because we realized they weren't poisonous.
I mean, I'm obsessed with tomatoes.
So good.
I love them.
So good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sarah's in her tomato era.
I am in my tomato era. I used to hate them, and I had like a what am I trying to say? Like a renaissance for tomatoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tomato renaissance.
Write
We
that
love
one
it.
down.
Well, going on to orange. Orange is often associated with warmth and happiness. It's also like adventure and creativity. And here it says freshness, success, and attraction.
Mm.
Which I don't know if I associate orange with that,
I don't
but
associate orange with freshness.
definitely like warmth and happiness, like sometimes coziness. And I do think it is like an active color.
Yeah, I would agree.
So creativity. A lot of time when I was younger, when I'd say my favorite color was orange, they'd be like the annoying orange, and I was like,
Mm.
not that. And not neon orange, even the pretty standard, like bright Crayola orange, I don't associate most with. I associate more with either like a pastel version of orange
Mm.
or like a deeper, like burnt orange.
Love a burnt orange.
Those are my more favorites.
Nice.
That middle orange is not it.
There
It's
you go.
fine. Yeah. Moving on to yellow. Yellow is associated with optimism, cheer, happiness, warmth again, but also caution,
Hmm.
energy, and intellect.
Mm.
Yeah. You're a
Mm-hmm.
smarty.
If you could see me, I was pushing up my glasses.
She was pushing up fake glasses though,
It's
even
true.
though she wears real glasses.
My glasses simply were just already on my face very securely, so.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. But I think yellow is also associated with like new beginnings and
yeah,
yeah,
I would agree with that.
yeah, and cheerfulness. Cheerfulness for
I agree.
sure.
I
It's
agree.
a very positive color.
Mhm.
But one of the inspirations of this episode came from superstitions, which is if you give someone yellow flowers, it means like I think it's something about unfaithfulness. Like yeah,
Really?
for partners like, oh like, I've been with your partner has been with someone else. So be careful
Wow.
with those yellow flowers. I think it's specifically, I want to say in Turkish culture, like a Turkish superstition
Interesting.
that I was looking at.
Interesting. I will
But very
say,
interesting.
I do like the color yellow, and I do think that yellow flowers are pretty, but my favorite flower is not yellow. My favorite flower is a forget-me-not.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're
Just
very cute
blue,
flowers.
blue, blue. Okay, what's next?
What's next? Going in color order, we've got green. So green is obviously associated with like growth, nature, wealth, luck, envy, freshness,
Hmm.
and quality.
I see green being more freshness than orange, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Green definitely is completely associated with like nature and plants in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And like feels like sprouting, new beginnings,
Life.
fresh,
Yeah.
life. But also like the deeper the green is, the more like I think you are associating it with that phrase of like green with envy and
Oh,
jealousy sometimes.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in my mind at least.
Huh.
Yeah. I think shades matter a lot.
Yeah, I
It's
think you're
really
right.
hard to have just one color mean so much. Yeah.
I agree.
So it's got to do with like lightness and darkness as well.
Yeah,
As
totally.
well as base color,
Tone.
tone and value. Okay, for blue, tone and value is really how everything is associated. Your
It's
tone of
true.
voice, Values
values you lived
hold.
through in your life.
They mean everything. Okay, moving on, moving on. Blue is associated with trust, calmness, sadness, which I guess I get, peace, loyalty, depth, and authenticity.
Ah,
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. I feel like I associate blue a lot with calmness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Serenity.
serenity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're on the same page of that. And I think blue is a color that I don't know, it's one of those base colors that everyone kind of likes.
Yeah, I
I don't
agree.
think I've heard anyone say like, "Oh, I really don't like
Blue.
blue."
Right.
They say that about other colors.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm blue. Dabba dee dabba die.
Singing podcast. Again, again, again.
Okay, what's next?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're almost done. We've just got purple, and then we'll do black and white. But purple is associated with royalty, nobility, wisdom, luxury, imagination, mystery, and spirituality.
I can see royalty because of the whole like purple and
Purple.
gold,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and I can see mystery, but I don't know if I see luxury.
Yeah, I don't think I see luxury anymore. I think luxury was probably just associated with royalty.
Yeah,
Because if you're royal, you obviously have riches.
yeah.
But purple doesn't feel like a super luxurious
Color.
color.
No. I think the
Yeah.
most luxurious color in my mind is beige.
Beige. Yeah. Yeah. Sad beige
Sad beige.
is expensive.
Because when you have money, you're sad. Right? Is
It's
that
also
how it
just
is?
costs a lot
I
of
never
money
know.
to have beige things.
Yeah, true.
um, but I feel like I associate purple also with calmness.
Hmm.
But maybe that's more of a pastel, like periwinkle that I think of as
Okay.
calmness.
I see purple as being kind of kooky.
Mm. There's this whole association with people who are purple who identify as people whose favorite color is purple.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I dated someone whose favorite color was purple, and he wouldn't stop talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the association is. That they
Really?
just really attach to that color for some reason more than any other color. And I don't know how real that is versus how much that was just one of my friends telling me that. But it was like purple people always make it very strongly noted that their favorite color is purple.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely did that on the date, so I don't have any evidence to disagree with you. My mother, also a purple person.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's her favorite color. And she does look for clothing that is purple, but it doesn't limit her. No.
You shouldn't let things limit
You
you.
shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Okay, so we'll go into the last two colors, which are white and black. White is often associated with purity, simplicity, innocence, peace, cleanliness, emptiness, and goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that comes from a lot of like religious origins as
Yeah.
like white and pure,
Right.
and weddings and things.
Racism.
Racism.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, religion is often tied with racism.
A little bit.
Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
But I also think of white as kind of a mourning color
Hmm.
sometimes.
Okay.
Like white is like starting over because
Okay.
it's a blank slate.
Yeah, I definitely like do think of white as being clean,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And white glove tests and stuff.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But I also think it's just because of this book series that I read when I was younger where like white was the color of mourning. And I also why do I feel like in some cultures white is also like reserved for special things? I just don't know what they are.
Sure.
Sure,
I can't think of anything to tell you about right now, but I'm sure.
we're not well researched on the color white.
Yeah, hey, what can I say?
And then finally, black is associated with sophistication, formality, sorrow, boldness, elegance, death, and mystery. But in the US, black is definitely associated with like death
Yeah,
and mourning.
yeah.
Um,
I can also see elegance though,
I
you
think
know,
so too.
black dress, black tie.
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing.
Formalities too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But with all of those little definitions, you can associate them to your cube ladder
Horse.
field horse test.
Yeah, totally. Love.
But I think that kind of brings us to the end of this podcast. You were not sure if I could have a whole episode on shapes and colors, and here we are.
There you go.
Honestly,
Never doubt.
we could probably have another one.
We could. Honestly,
Not for a
I
while.
enjoyed that little test. I think we've done a couple different tests in the past, and I think they're always pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
They're always interesting because they always take what you know and have a specific spin on it, a
yeah.
different lens of seeing it, and you're like, oh, I can get behind that. Or,
Right.
oh my gosh, so wrong.
No.
So wrong.
Yeah. And it's also fun because, we know each other, and then also you as listeners, you've been with us for a while now, so you're getting to
Yeah.
know us too. So it's kind of fun to see how things are mapped onto the expectations we have for each other.
Exactly. Wow, that was such a communication-y, professional way to say that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But anyways, we post our episodes every Wednesday, and you can find us on Spotify and on YouTube. And then also we do promotional posts every now and again on Instagram. So totally follow us. If you have anything that you want to, send us as an idea, you can DM us on Instagram. We will definitely reply.
Totally.
That would be really fun. You should do it. And then also, we do have an email. So if you wanted to email us, it is our podcast name at gmail.com. You can send us a personality test that you've recently taken.
Yes. Or you can tell us what your results of this personality test are.
We would love that.
Yes.
Please do that.
We will psychoanalyze you.
Yes.
From afar.
I would greatly enjoy that. And then definitely give us recommendations for what you want to see in a future episode. We had one of our favorite listeners give us a recommendation. Shout out our roommate Bella's mom. We will definitely be using the suggestion you had for one of our future episodes. It's just gonna take a little more planning, but you guys can look forward to a AI associated episode in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And with that being said, I think we're going to close out this podcast, and we will see you next week on
Arguably Speaking.
Bye.
Bye.